Good morning, everybody. Looks like God gave us another day that's not too freezing cold or raining too hard or anything like that. Right now it's not raining at all. That hole behind me in the wall there is where a pipe's going to stick out for the stove pipe for the wood burner inside, regular old wood burner. And then we got the wood boiler that's not going to be fired up for a little while yet. So the wood burner, basically that's a backup. If the power ever goes out for an extended period of time or anything like that, you can always run a wood burner. You don't need electricity. The wood boiler, you need electricity to run the pumps or you don't get any heat. So it's kind of a backup plan, but also right now it's the plan because the wood boiler is not going to be fired up for a little while yet. We don't have any running water in this house yet or any heat source in the house yet. Well, I have a big buddy heater, a little propane heater, but that's kind of like trying to pee in the lake to raise the lake level, you know. If you stand over it, you get warm. But we want to keep it warm in here for working in here so we can get it ready to move into. And we haven't worked on it in the wintertime for the last few years because it's just too darn cold in here and your fingers don't want to work. And the older we get, the less they want to work in the cold weather. So I'm going to turn this thing around a minute. I've got some parts here that I got from Craig Chop, who owns Redbud Forge and he also owns Mishfab Machinery. Whoops, hit the wrong button. Okay, we're going to turn this thing around here, and this is some of the parts that I got, or one of the parts I got from Craig. He did that burnout there, and then I had another place rolled a piece and welded on there because my welder, I don't have anywhere to plug my welder in right now, and I'm a so-so welder. I'm a good layout and fabricator, but I've never done a ton of welding in my life. My dad was like a really, really good welder, and everybody thought I would be, but it was always more fun to just go over to Dad's, and we would work together on things, and I'd make parts, and he'd weld them together, and for all kinds of different projects. But so I never really practiced at it that well. Anyway, regardless, this is what I've got for a support for the wood stove pipe for one of these supports. See, on this base here, this will be a temporary support. Next spring we're going to redo things, but spring or summer. See, I've got two holes in there. That's going to be to pound re-rod down through so that the bottom can't get kicked out. And then, and actually, I just found out that I've got a little extra height there. I just grabbed two pieces of 2x6 womanized that I had upstairs. So this one's longer than it needs to be. I might even, well, I'll probably use that, but I'm gonna have to cut this one here off, probably a good 18 inches or so. And then we'll get that standing up over here, not far from the base of that ladder. Sorry, it's such a mess out here. It'll get cleaned up later. It's just, we have more important things on the menu right now. So we'll get a stanchion under there to support that, and then it'll also be supported in the hole. You can see I have a couple of pieces of square aluminum tubing laying in there on top of the cement in the hole there. So it'll be supported at the wall and out closer to us on top of this support. And then I'm going to make another support that'll come off the wall. Let me back up a little bit here. Better watch where I'm going. Okay, there will be another support up above that hole in the wall, up in here somewhere, that'll be made in a way that holds it from rocking sideways, you know, X and Y, and then it'll also have a vertical, or like a 45-degree brace coming off the house to hold it, to support some weight also. So it will support weight. And then up there on the fascia, I'm going to take a womanized 4x4 and cut it probably about 2 feet long. So it'll be about 2 feet long this way, and I'll miter both ends on it and cut a dish into it. And I have another strap that's the size of the pipe. I don't have the straps out here, they're in the house. But I'll have a strap wrapped around, it'll screw into the back of that dished out area in the 4x4. So it will be supported on the soffit, that way down on the main floor there, and it'll be supported down here underneath. It'll have 3 supports on it. It'll be nice and sturdy. It's got to stick up a little ways above that soffit there. And then after that, I'll build a hearth in there for the wood stove to set on, and we can have that going, have some heat in the house for when we're working in there. So that'll be nice. Well, it looks like I got to go down and grab a couple more pieces of womanized. Got some in that red barn down there. I think they're 16 footers. So I'll probably just grab one for now, bring it up here so I can cut some pieces out of it that I need for the braces to go on the side of the over here. It's going to be, like I said, it's just temporary. I know I already said that, but the braces will always be here, but the way they're installed is just going to be makeshift for now to get me by this winter. And then when we get ready to build the porch is going to, where you see those two boards there, is going to be a porch roof that goes all the way from there all the way to there, and it'll stick out here about 10 feet, so it'll be a covered walkway from the French door all the way down to the mechanical room door, and that's garage down there. But yeah, we'll have to redo the braces once we get that all done, but that's not a big deal. It's actually going to be better at that time. This is just enough so we can have a good solid stack for that wood stove and put some heat in the house. Good thing it's nice out today. All right, I'm going to go down and get my womanized. I'll be right back. Well, I got this little doodad here that used to have these round clips on it that kind of came this way and this way to clip on the bottom of this tripod here. And I laid it on the chair there while I was talking to you guys, and apparently I knocked it off and stepped on it and broke the clips off. This still works, but that stinks. So, I guess I'll go in and get me some 3-inch screws. I'll be back out here in a minute. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm putting one in slanting a little bit this way and one slanting a little bit that way. I'll do the same thing on the bottom. Makes it much harder to pull out. These plastic strips in these styrofoam blocks hold pretty darn good, but anything like that you can do to add a little extra, especially when you're putting a big old heavy chimney up there. It's going to be buffed around by the wind. You want it solid as a rock. Also, another thing I've learned with these styrofoam blocks, you can leave your screws when you start them in like this. You can leave them sticking through a 1/4 of an inch or maybe even 5/16 or so. Then when you set it on the wall, it kind of helps hold it from shifting around. They dig into the styrofoam and it doesn't move when you're trying to get your screws in. That's a helpful hint if you ever do an ICF. Okay. little bit in the way. I need to move my ladder a little. Because I actually want this to be about on the top of it at this seam here. So I'm going to do a little adjusting here. It's not exactly level, but it's close enough to do what I got to do, I think. We'll find out. If it's not, you guys will get to see me take a dive out here. Whoops. Almost got to anyway. This isn't open up all the way. Let's do that. Yep. Better. The ground is humped up toward the house, so it's hard to get your ladder set level if you're too close. Hey, you guys. Hey. Settle down. You guys gonna go in the house if you don't behave? You're gonna have to go in the house if you don't behave. Right there are my fox box strips. Okay, settle down. Right. It's enough. That brace is on. Thought I was going to have to grow some longer arms for a minute there. You guys excited to behave a little bit, did you? Probably haven't told you guys yet, but our granddaughter that lives with us, she's sweet as can be. She just turned 19 years old. She's going to vote today for her first time. Today's the 5th. And I guess it's been about a year and a half ago, she said, hey, if I move back in with you guys, can I get a dog? She knew that our 2 Great Pyrenees had passed away, and we said sure. So she found a ad in Marketplace that said, female Australian Shepherd, 13 months old, free to a good home. She said, can I get this one, please, please? And we said, sure, sounds good. So she brings her home. She drove down to northern Indiana, got the dog, brought her home. Her name is Portia, and a couple weeks later, my wife was petting Portia, went to rub her belly a little bit, and noticed that her nipples were getting really big, and she said, she's pregnant. I'm like, no, she's not. She says, yes, she is. So a couple weeks later, she had 7 puppies. Surprise, surprise. The lady that sold her to, or gave her to my granddaughter, knew that she was pregnant, but she didn't tell her, because she was very attentive to the phone calls when Kaylee wanted the dog. But after she got the dog and went to call back and say, hey, the dog is pregnant, do you know what the father is? The lady would not answer her phone. And there's other telltale signs too. But anyway, we found good homes for 4 of the puppies. 3 of them, we were having trouble finding good homes for them. We found some people that said they'd take them, but they just didn't feel right. We didn't want to take them and drop them off to a shelter, because who knows if they'll survive or if they get put down. And we kept trying to find good homes, and it didn't happen. Eventually you get pretty darn attached to them. They become part of the family. So now we have 4 dogs. We have the mama dog, which is the one walking away from us right now. She's the Australian Shepherd. The other 3 that don't look anything like her are her puppies. That one right there with the blue collar, the brown and white thin one there, that's Oakley. She's a girl. This is Sky coming up to us. He's got a little blue on the bottom of his right eye there, on the left side there, but his right eye. And then Runt over there with the red collar. Runt, stop your digging. Stop your digging. He's got 1 blue eye, 1 brown eye. And they're all just, we love them to death. And so now we are a 4-dog family, totally not planned for. Hey, Runt. Hi, bud. Hi, say hi. Hi, Sky. Hi, Runt. Hi, Portia. Portia, you got some good-looking kids. Where'd Oakley go? Oh, Oakley's going for a walk over there. We just got the dog fence put up. We'll show you another video about that soon. Or maybe you'll already see that video by the time we get this one out. Anyway, back to task here. Got that board up there. I got to cut another one like it and put up higher. The other one's got to go up above that second board, up kind of up beside that window there, and centered on that hole, centered above that hole. Then I'll have a brace up there beside the window, like I was telling you before. A brace down here, support underneath the stack. Stack's probably going to weigh 250, 300 pounds, something like that, by the time you get all them lengths up there. And then there's me one fastened onto the soffit up there. I'll make that out of a womanized 4x4 with some lags bolted through this 2x6 fascia board. And that I will end up painting black, because that one will probably stay there. Okay, so I'm going to set you back down here and get me another board cut. Okay, so we're going to cut that second board for up there beside the window. It's also going to be 44 inches long, which is just a little bit longer than screw strip to screw strip. So you get a little bit of overlap here, or not overlap, but here. You're not screwing right next to the end of the 2x, so the board will split out. You want a little bit beyond the screw strip so you can keep your screw a little bit away from the end of the board, so the boards don't want to split out on you. We learned a lot of things building this ICF house, and especially when you're getting ready to pour, there's a lot of bracing, extra bracing you need to do, temporary bracing, but you need a lot of extra 2x4s and stuff like that to brace the heck out of any windows and door openings, to run braces around the outside to help keep it straight so the wall doesn't want to go like this. And but when you get done, you take out all that off, and you can use those boards for walls on, interior walls and stuff like that. But you got to brace the heck out of it if you want it to stay straight while you're pouring it. And then they've got other braces when you're pouring. It's like makes like a catwalk with bracing on it, and turnbuckles. So you want to start out with them bowed in slightly, so that when you pour it, you just want to bow it out. It's a whole lot easier if you have it bowed in too far. It's a whole lot easier to turn the turnbuckle and let it out a little bit than it is to try to tighten it, or actually force the turnbuckle loose to push the wall out. You can let it out easier than you can pull it in, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's 44. And $44. Okay, and we're gonna go. Okay, those first lines weren't good. Just the first cutoff line was. Oops. Four, 6, 18, 10, and 2. There. Now. There's my cut line, screw line, screw line, then after I get this board cut and get some screws started in it, I'm going to have to go out and get one of my extension ladders to bring out here because I'm not going to be able to reach up there high enough without it. So that's kind of a chore in itself. I've got one standing up inside of the main floor of the house that's leaned up against the end wall, strung up there quite a ways. That's a 24-foot ladder. It's open up most of the way to reach up in the peak. Then I got another one in the garage that's also a 24-footer that I bought used on Marketplace, but it does not have the rope and pulley to extend it up, so it's a little harder to extend up, but I think I can get it good enough down here to work down here. I don't need to extend it way up. So I'll probably get that one out of the garage and use it down here because I still need to do more work in the house where that other one is on the main floor, so I'd like to leave that one up there. You know what? I'm gonna shut you guys off for a second because you already saw me do this once. It's gonna get boring if you just keep watching me put more screens in. So shut you guys off and I'll update you after I get the ladder down here. Okay, I'm in the garage. You can see it needs a lot of backfill yet because the floor is gonna be up at the bottom of these garage doors here. So I got another 2.5 feet or so of fill to go in here, more than that in the middle where the stone trench is. But it has a lot of backfill to go in here. We just have the OSB on the doors, a little window hole cut in with the tie back over it, so that's a little more light in here. And we got the windows. We have one window yet to put in because that one was broke when it got to us, so they had to give us a replacement. We haven't got that in yet. Here's the ladder I bought on Marketplace that does not have the rope and pulleys. I gotta take that out there where we're working on the chimney and get it stood up so I can reach put that other board up there. To do that though, I've got to carry it in that door that's about 3 foot off the ground and through the main level and down the basement steps and out, and it's a whole thing. But here we go. We'll get her done. good there. I'm level with the seam in the block on up here. I'm centered on this ridge here. Good there. I'm level with the seam in the block on up here. I'm centered on this ridge here, which is the center of the hole, so we should be good. I think I might have a crooked screw wants to jump out. Okay, that one's up there. One step closer to getting the wood stove going. Okay. If you're enjoying the videos, give us a thumbs up if you would. And if you're not subscribed, think about subscribing. And have a blessed day. Thanks for watching. Bye.